OK，yeah，好，嗯，OK，一开始还是非常感谢大家，能够在放假的时候，还能继续来听这个没有什么用处的课，OK，so thank you very much for coming to today's class. Um, Today is actually the Tocharian class. Wait a minute. So this is our eighth Tocharian class, and as I explained earlier in our group, today's class is actually, although it is a Tocharian class, but we are going to spend some time explaining and solving the problems we had last time about the laryngeals, about the Sanskrit root, about the Sanskrit roots and the strange sounding or metrical irregularities in our texts. So before we start, probably we can, this is actually a Tocharian class, so I still want to explain some Tocharian stuff. So in our previous meetings, we actually we actually started reading this Tocharian fragment having the number IOL talk 247, and this is a fragment from the London collection. So this is from London collection, and so you see that IOL is short for Indian Office Library. I'm not sure if it is India Office or Indian Office, probably India, but you can check it later, yeah. Then this fragment, this text, and you can see that probably you all know about this website. And in this website, you can find a lot of useful information. Yeah. For example, here, the text contents, it is Vinaya Vibhanga. So it is Vinaya text. And for this text, we are pretty lucky. The manuscript, the fragment, it is not really a fragment. It's almost a complete folio. A complete folio. Yeah. I actually, since we only have about 90 minutes, I won't spend a lot of time reading the text. We can just probably check some words or certain sentences. And we have actually last time read the, I make it a little bit bigger. Probably some of you have some have remembered what we have read. So for example, this one. So I check my wait a minute. So I check my notes and to see if I can find something. Yeah. So actually, we have read this part before. Rama Resa, Shama Ninsa, and Yamaske Manesa, and so on. So it's about making a sitting mat. And the word lama resa means sitting mat and corresponds to Sanskrit nishidana. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming. Yeah. We have just started. And I just want to first give a short review of what we have done last time. And then we will read read the text later, and we try to finish this fragment. But there are some interesting points in this fragment. And one is that I want to show you how important it is to check the manuscript, to read the original Brahmi script. So here is the example I show you. So we probably you have this course material. I put it here. So this is actually a transcription of our text, and you can see here. So here, this is what we have read last time. So Rama Resa Shama Nensa Yamaske Manesa, right? And then you see that here, there's a name called Andave. And this Andave, if you check the dictionary, or if you check the glossary behind this elementary book, I can show you. So this is Andave, which occurs presumably in our fragment Andave, and this is also listed in the glossary Andave. And the explanation is to Sanskrit Andava, so name of a forest. So this is what we have here. So in this fragment, we have a name called Andave, and according to the glossary, it comes from the Sanskrit word Andava, and it is a name of a forest. But but first I have to say something. So actually, if we have a long word from Sanskrit to Tocharian, there are two cases. Probably you remember Tocharian A. So first question, what happens to Tocharian A if the Sanskrit long word ends in a vowel? So let's take a look. Let's give an example. So if this is a Sanskrit word, andava, and what is the result if it appears in Tocharian A? Does anyone know what happens to this A? What happens to this A? So can anyone just type quickly what happens to this A if it is borrowed into Tocharian A? Okay, great. Yeah, it is lost. Yeah, in Tocharian A, final R is lost. Great, and then if it is borrowed into Tocharian B, if this is borrowed into Tocharian B, wait a minute. It appears like A, yeah. So this is a very important correspondence. In Tocharian A, the final R is always lost. but the final, but in B, in West Tocharian, it remains like a A. So that's why you have in the grammar, I can show you. So that's why you have in grammar, let's check the grammar. So in this grammar, if you open this file and you click the bookmarks, and you see here, there is a paradigma. It's German word for paradigms, English paradigm. 范例就是名词变革的这个范例，变形的范例。Okay. So let's move on. So this is a very famous Tocharian. This is a very famous Indo-European word. We actually mentioned this word last time. So West Tocharian, yakwe, and corresponds to East Tocharian yuk. So this comes back to the Proto-Indo-European word for horse. The Proto-Indo-European word for horse. And the Proto-Indo-European form is a little bit, how to say that? I actually, I think it's better just to put the other languages here. So the reconstruction is a little bit, yes. The appellative stands for where? Appellative. I didn't talk about appellative here. So actually in our last class, I say that not well, yeah, probably you mean this, but actually this has something to do with a syntactic problem. The better example is here. Actually, appellative usually corresponds to instrumental. This, you find it here. But this is not a very good example demonstrating the correspondence between Tocharian and Sanskrit. 就在吐火罗语当中，就是 appellative 这个格，它一般是对应工具格。就是这个情况，我虽然是这么写的，但是这里事实上是有一个句法上的问题，所以大家就是不能只是看这个字面上的这个对应，就如果要看的话，应该看这个，明白吧 ？OK， 好，对，就是遇到这种比较稍微有点复杂的东西的话，我还是会用中文讲的，大家不用担心。对，就如果你们听不明白的话，就告诉我一下。Yeah, so actually the real correspondence is here. Sanskrit instrumental corresponds to appellative. Okay. So let's come back. So you can see that this is actually a very famous word for horse. And also Greek, you have in Greek hippos. Yeah. And then, so you can see that we know that this hippos word, or Sanskrit ashva, of course, Sanskrit. So Sanskrit, we have ashva. I've got the accent, probably the first one, I have to check it. Wait a minute. Yeah, the first, yeah, correct. It is accented on the first syllable, yeah. So you can see this this horse word, the Indo-European form is like this. Here you can just a little bit complicated, but important is that it ends in an O. So this horse word in PIE. It's like this, yeah. So I copy the yeah, so this is actually the horse word, and you can. I have to put it somewhere. It's a little bit. Yeah, so this is a horse word. So you can see this is the O. So originally O turns into an A. So check the correspondence here. To close it. Okay, wait a minute. So you can see the Proto-Indo-European O turns into A in Tocharian B, but nothing in Tocharian A at the end if the O is the final vowel. Yeah, so it is the same here. If it is borrowed from a Sanskrit word, Sanskrit R turns into an A, just like the Proto-Indo-European O. Yeah, it's also very interesting. Yeah, and so according to the glossary, we have this information. This is a glossary. Sorry. So this is a glossary, and the glossary tells us the Tocharian B word. So this fragment, this is Tocharian B. So this is a Tocharian B fragment. Yeah, and it comes from a Sanskrit word andava. It looks like possible. It looks yeah, it looks perfect, or looks quite right, right? Because we have an A, so the Sanskrit word should be a R, yeah. But if we check the Sanskrit dictionary, so let's check the Sanskrit dictionary. So I put andava here, and there is no such word, andava. And if I select the prefix here, so you can see that there are a lot of words beginning with anda, like andakara, andakaramaya, andakarita, and so on. But there's no andava here. So there's only 34 occurrences. So there's actually no andavana, and there's no andava. Yeah. But if we check the Pali dictionary, let's try. So I type andava, and there's no andava. You can see that there's no andava. Make it a little bit bigger. But there's a word called andavana. And andavana is a famous forest, a grove to the south of Savatthi. Savatthi is Shravasti, and so on. So actually, this is a very famous place name in the Buddhist text. And it is actually Andavana. This is actually Andavana. So it is actually Andavana. And so you can see that here it is a mistake in this famous Tocharian handbook or Tocharian textbook, and also in the glossary. But why comes this mistake? Andavane. So if we compare other words like this yakwe, yuk, and so on, and we know that if it is andave, it should be Sanskrit Andavana. It could not be Andavana, right? And can anyone tell me if it is Andavana originally, what should it look like in Tocharian B? In Tocharian B, yeah. I mean, in Tocharian B, what should it look like in Tocharian B? Yeah, correct. It should be Andavane. Yeah. But what happened here? So if we don't check the manuscript, if we don't check the original Blachny manuscript, you probably would like guess that, well, it's probably a mistake and they just forget the on here. Yeah, probably it is a mistake. So let's check the manuscript ourselves. So this is the, how do you say? So this is the manuscript. And our word occurs here. I make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. So this is our manuscript. And our text, I put, wait a minute. So let's check it. And with the help of the so let's do it this way. So this is car is right. Check it. So this is a car. Wait a minute. I make it a little bit. Yeah. So you can see that this is a car, right? This is a car. So car is here. So this is car. And then this is M. So this is ma. Ma is here. Ma is here. But notice that this ma, take a look. Here it is closed, but here it is open. So this is also a very special appearance of Brahmi script. So based on a different writing, you can actually tell which one is older. So this is actually an older form if it is open. And if it is closed, it is a younger form. 就在婆罗米字体里面，就是骂这个音节，骂这个字符，它如果上面是封口的话，一般是晚期的写本；如果是开口的话，是早期的写本。可能是but why? Well, if you I don't know why, but and you can also ask why should they write ma like this, yeah, and why should they write brahmi like this? Yeah? This is some problem or some questions just cannot be answered, or just cannot be, yeah, okay. I just to tell you that it is the rule, yeah. Well, this is not my knowledge. This is the knowledge of the Tocharian scholarship. I can show you how the scholarship. Yeah, how can you know which one is older? Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, okay, it's good that you ask questions. Yeah. So. So probably you, some of you already know this book edited by Millennium Mountain. called Instrumenta Tocharica. And in order to get the basics or the very important resources, bibliographies, fragments, and it is a book you have to check. And in this book, there's a chapter, I can show you, written by Melanie Moulton, called The Most Archaic Fragment. I make it a little bit bigger. The Most Archaic Manuscripts of Tocharian B and the Varieties of Tocharian B Language. So let's turn to oh, I forgot which page. 255. Okay. So yeah, so this is actually a list of the so-called shibboleth signs. Shibboleth is a Hebrew word for key, or yeah. So this is the most important signs for determining the age of the manuscript. And some of the manuscripts, the how to say that? If you want to know the age of the manuscript, there are several methods you can use. First, of course, the scientific one. You just do C14 tests， 就你用碳14的方法去测。的确，吐火罗学家就做过这种事情，他们对很多个写本采样，然后测纸的那个年代，所以这个是一个非常科学的方法。So the scientists, they just do the scientific testing of C14, yeah, and then you check the linguistic forms. So the Tocharian manuscripts, they have a long span, about 500 years. And during the 500 years, there are certainly developments. And based on the linguistic knowledge, yeah, of course. But if you just, yeah, it of course, it can be some errors, but it matches in this case, in the case of Tocharian manuscripts. It can have errors, but it does not mean that it is wrong every time, right? It can have errors, right? So, and then another way is based on the linguistic forms. So some forms is more archaic, and then you know that if a fragment contains archaic forms, and then it is older. Another problem, probably a little bit indirect, is based on the texts. So some texts are much older than the others. For example, the Maitreya Samhitinataka, some texts, I just give a very general idea of the methods. So some texts are much older and some texts are younger. So this is actually basically two different methods. And then you also compare with the Indian scripts. So we all know that the Tocharian, so you can see that the Tocharian scripts come from India. And then we have in Indian also inscriptions, inscriptions with Brahmi scripts. So then some inscriptions can be dated. So you know the age of the Indian origins. 就是婆罗米字体原来是从印度来的，然后印度的更早期的那个字体，他们是写在那个碑铭上的，然后碑铭有一些是可以断代的，所以你可以大概知道就是印度的这个早期的这个形态是什么样子，然后你可以和 吐火罗当中的比较嘛，所以也是可以发现，整理出他们的这个时间顺序的。OK，好，这个是大致的那个逻辑。So actually you can see, this is a very old forms, archaic, and it is open, open, open. But here, this is a standard form. It is closed, right? Okay. So this is, yeah. Yeah, of course, C14 method can have some errors, of course, yeah. And I think the scientists who have done the text already been quite aware of the errors, yeah. Okay. Well, the texts are not done by the Tocharian scholars. The texts are done by the chemists, by the scientists. I've got the place, probably in Berlin, yeah. Okay. So let's turn back to the, wait a minute, I lost the, yeah. So this is a transcription, yeah. So this is ka, and this is a ma, and this is a te. This is a te. Take a look. This is a te. Should I put the Blackme script on the side, or I guess you probably all have an idea. Or probably I can put it on the side. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a ma. Ma is here. We just talk about it a little bit. This is a ma, and this is a long stroke to the right. So this is a long vowel ma, and then this is a t, and here this is a vowel sign. So it should be a te, also correct. And then this is r. You can see this is r. R is here. So this is the r sign. And then this is a little bit complicated, and it is also broken. So probably it is not easy to see, but this is actually an N. I can show you. This is the N. There are two parts. Here is the N, and then here this is the he, but this is a combination of N onto the he. So you can also find it. Sorry, wait a minute. Not so easy. Yeah. So this is N. So this is A, and this is N plus the he, N de he, and this is a V. You can see that this is a V. So the problem is, what is this? In the textbook, it is written as an A, right? It is written as an A. But is it really an A? Can you see the difference? This is an A. If it is an A, the vowel sign should be connected to the, yeah, it is not an A. It is anusvara, right? Because A is always connected to the basic sign. 就是 A 这个元音符号，它一般是和下面这个符号连起来的。但是呢，这里你看到了，就是这里是分开来的。所以这里分开来，就是如果你想，就是如果你离得远一点，可能你不是很注意，但是你如果真的把它放大了，你就可以知道这个是分开来的。分开来的话，大家看好了，这里都有。So this is separated. The sign is separated from the basic sign. Also separated. Here is connected. So here is also A, but here it is also separated. Connected, separated, connected, right? So here is separated. So this is not a air. What we have here is actually under va, and then this is anusvaha. So this is what we have in the manuscript. And let's turn to this page. So in this website, you can see that it is written, it has corrected. Seems that we are in the classroom of primary school. Okay, yeah. So it is actually under one. It is corrected in this manuscript, and then okay, yeah. Well, I will. So after about 5 minutes, you will come to the graduate school. Yeah, I promise you. Yeah, or even doctor program. Yeah. Okay, so this is actually the correct form in the manuscript, and then it certainly comes from the Sanskrit word, of course. So can anyone tell me? Is it originally? Is it this form? Is it a TA or TB? Is it a West Tocharian or TA or TB? This form. Can anyone tell me? Right, correct. It is a TA form because the vowel is lost. So the vowel is lost. And then you see that this is a vang, this is a vang. And there's another important detail. Anusvaha in Tocharian, anusvaha, the sound, the value is n, not not Sanskrit but the value is n. So here you see another important detail. The Sanskrit loan words, there's a borrowing process. This is also very important. Borrowing process. We already discussed it last time. So we discussed it, we mentioned that there's kind of a borrowing process. Right? This is what we have discussed last time. From Sanskrit to a Middle Indic, very probably Gandhari, and then to Tocharian, and then to Chinese. And Tocharian here is actually Tocharian A, very probably. And even inside Tocharian, inside Tocharian, there's also a borrowing process. Like the inside Tocharian, the borrowing process is Sanskrit to Tocharian A, and then Tocharian A to Tocharian B. So there are two very important borrowing processes. So you have to keep it in mind. So this is a point. This is an example that I want to show you and to let you know that if you want to study Tocharian, you must learn the Blachmi script. Otherwise, you can easily be fooled by the even by the authoritative, by the standard textbooks, by the glossaries. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Borrowing process. Okay. So, and then another point, another detail from the fragment. So we have actually read this before, and I already asked you about this root. So does anyone, can anyone tell me, yes, Sanskrit N turns into anusvara. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. This is a phonetic value of Tocharian anusvara is equal n. So this is my point. So this is my point. Yeah. And then, does anyone remember this word? I probably have. So this word means what? Means eating, right? Eating, yeah. Yeah, that's also very interesting. Yeah, TA is western. TA is eastern side. I can show you the map, right? So this is a map. So this is very interesting. TA comes from it is the last consonant. It is the last consonant. Yeah.我 B 开头会发 M 吗？你写个例子给我吧，怎么样？我不是很明白你的这个意思。对，你是说你是说这个吗？你说 B， 你 B 加这个，就没有这样，不会有这样的情况的话，就按照刷法一般是跟在元音后面的，对不对？就你不可能在一个辅音上面，单纯的辅音上面。对啊，就是我不知道呀，你问的意思是这个吗？就是 vam， 我没明白你说这个意思啊 ，OK， well, could be, yeah, but then this is it's kind of a soundy thing, but you cannot tell the real pronunciation of the Tocharian people, right? Just like if I say something in Chinese, I could be influenced by the following sound, right? But I'm talking about absolute phonetic value. And what you see, yeah, what you mentioned is another thing, right? It's a sounding in a continuous speaking. Yeah. Okay. So this is really interesting, as mentioned by yeah, as mentioned by someone. So here, it is the eastern side. It is TA. TA is here, and TB is here. So how can we explain the direction? This, yeah. But there are some, yeah, you can speculate, right? Yeah, you can speculate. Yeah. But this is not our topic today. I still have some other things to tell. Yeah. So if we turn back to this, I copy it here. So after this, I will talk about the laryngeal things. Yeah. So you put it here. You put your mouse here, and you find the meaning. It means eating, right? It means eating. And then Mahlzeit, right? And then this word, if you put your mouse here, it means afterward or after, right? This is after, yeah. And I already mentioned that this post, if you have learned some, no, underwear is wrong. There's no underwear. There's no underwear. Underwear is wrong, yeah. I probably, is it really clear for you? I said that underwear is a mistake. Underwear is a mistake in the textbook. It is not underwear, it is underwang. Yeah, okay. Yeah, written in the manuscript, it is actually underwang with anusvara, yeah. And it is just similar so you can see that I really need to be slow and to explain it. So you can see that it is what we have on the manuscripts. And this form is quite similar to this A, right? They look quite similar, but they are not. Here, not connected. Here, it is connected. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Let's come back to this. So 谢鼠卫. Yeah, that's no, not Wolfgang Klauser. It must be Thomas. Yeah, Wolfgang Klauser was already blind at that time. OK，就是 Klauser 这个人当时已经失明了，就是编这个东西实际上是 Thomas. So Wolfgang Klauser was at that time already blind. He was blind. Yeah. OK, I read it here. Wolfgang was blind. Yeah. OK. Okay, yeah. So again, so let's back to the another detail. So I show you this 学鼠卫 is eating, and postum means after, and it means after eating. So after the dinner, the Buddha did something, right? Yeah. And then if you learned a little bit, or you don't have to learn. If you don't actually have to learn Latin to know post means something after, right? Because we have in English also this post after something, right? Like post point, you have post point. It comes from Latin, of course. So it is connected to Latin etymologically, connected with Latin. But there's some detail. Important detail. If we check Latin dictionary, yeah, post-war, of course, yeah, post-war. So post is a very good example, post-war. Has anyone heard such verse, such phrase? You always hear post-war, right? Has anyone heard war post? I think no one, right? No one. But what we have in Tocharian is Tocharian has eating after. So this is Tocharian. Tocharian has eating after. So in Tocharian, post is post, this comes again, post position. But in Latin, post is a preposition, right? 就是中文一般把这个 preposition 翻译成介词，对吧？所以，但事实上它是前置词，对吧？就是中文的话，中文就是前置，我就不打中文了，就是我反正英语写在这了。So actually in Latin, post is a preposition, but in Tocharian, post is a postposition. This is also an interesting detail. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it looks like Chinese. Yeah, 时候, right? In Chinese, we translate like 时候 and so on. Yeah. Yeah, so this is also an interesting detail. Now let's come to the 饭后. Yeah, but I'm not sure if the Chinese 饭后 well, you can, of course, you can discuss. 就你们可以继续讨论，没关系的。就是我只是告诉你们一个有意思的现象，就是说 post 这个词在拉丁语当中它是一个后置词，在拉丁语当中是一个前置词 ，in Latin preposition， 但是在吐火罗语当中它是一个后置词。对 ，OK， 好，now let's turn to the Indo-European part, namely the laryngeal theory. Laryngeal theory. I make it a little bit bigger. So if we want to talk about laryngeal theory, this famous person we have to mention, and he actually invented not really invented, but he first noticed and to put forward a theory for laryngeals. And it is Ferdinand de Saussure. Check the date, 1875 to 1913. And probably all of you or most of the people in China who know Saussure, Saussure know his famous, how to say that, the book called 普通，我不知道中文怎么翻译啊，是叫普通语言学导论还是概论什么之类的。The French, yeah, 普通语言学教程. Okay, so the French name is Cours de linguistique générale. Yeah, so this is probably the most famous book by Saussure in China. I'm not sure. I don't know the situation in other Asian countries. But for the Indo-European linguists, his most famous book, probably this one, called, I can show you the book here. So this is actually one of the most famous book by Saussure, called Mémoire sur le système primitif des voyelles. So it's about the name translate. Yeah, if you translate like the monograph or the book or study of the primary or primary system of the vowels. So it's about the vowels, about the Indo-European languages, dans les langues indo-européennes. So in the language of the Indo-European languages, of course, And to see, to notice, this is published in 1879. And then I selected the related information for our class today. So in his book, he listed a lot of Indo-European forms. So here, he says that there are some words or some roots, racines. There are some words ending in he called coefficient sonantique. I don't know how to put it in English, but you can just memorize the French name. It's okay. And in like in linguistic terminology, you see that this is K. This is the semivowel, right? This is. So for K, this is E. E is the semivowel, right? Semivowel. And then you have slow. Oh, sorry. You have slow. This is also a semivowel, right? And then you have bear. This is not a semivowel, but similar to semivowel. It is a liquid or resonant, this. I'm talking about this. These are all roots. These are all roots, and probably you all know the name. Bear is carrying. Snail is here, and K probably means to lean or lie down and so on. And then he also noticed that there are other roots like dake. Dake we already spend a lot of time discussing. This root means point out, right? So also check it. He put in Klammer, put in brackets. Sorry, Klammer is German word for bracket. 就它在括号里面，大家看好了，它还告诉你它的弱形式，那个forma faible 就是 weak. This is a weak form. So weak form, you just delete the air vocal, the air vowel, right? So K is the full form, the full stem. So he is actually talking about full grade and weak grade. So K is full grade, and weak grade calls key. And then dake is full grade, and dik is a weak grade or 0 grade. And Belger, Bugre, Dek, und Druk. To see that, this is also very, very beautiful, how to say that, form. So already in 1879, Saussure had already used this, how to say that, this und, yeah, okay. Yeah, so you can see that as I have told you, dek actually means to see, and the weak stem of dek, you delete the air, and to see, you have 3 consonants. It is not allowed, and you have to put a circle. You have to put a circle under this, right? So it becomes druk. So in Saussure here. And then bend, and the weak stem, how to get the weak stem? You delete the air, and you have, so take a look, this is actually actually aspiration. So you have 3 consonants, and then you have to put a circle under it. So then you have bundige, right? Bundige. And then this, the different stem has a special name, or not really special. It is ablaut. Ablaut means you change the vowel. 2个辅音为什么允许? Where? Which one? Which one? Yeah, 3 consonants. Yeah. If you like, okay. There are not 2 consonants, right? Yeah. So what is the PPP of man? Tell me what is the PPP of man. If we want to build a PPP, you get the weak stem, right? If we want to get a PPP, right? How to get PPP? You put it, yeah, correct, yeah. You get the weak stem, and then you put a to, right? And to see here, we have 3 consonants, right? And then you have to put a O under it. So just like simple, yeah. Okay, yeah, so this is what we have, yeah. Okay, yeah. So let's move on. So Saussure has noticed that there's ablaut. There's a, how to say that, change of the stem from the full grade to the weak grade, weak stem. And then, like in Sanskrit, you have sach, and then you have sashchat, you have pat, you have paptat, and so on. So such is a full grade, and church or pt is actually the 0 grade, right? As a weak stem. And then comes an interesting point. We have in Greek stamon with a long A. And then we also have a statos. So what happened? Here we have a long A. Here we have a short A. So based on this, and also you have daughter, then daughter. So a long O and a short O. So if you want to, how to say that? So the logic is that the full grade, you have an air. The 0 grade, you delete the air. 就是满级的时候，或者是完整就是 full grade 的时候，你中间是有一个 a 在这里的，对不对？然后你的弱的，就是 弱的或者零级的时候，你这个把 a 去掉，对不对？那如果这是正确的一种逻辑的话，那怎么看待这个问题？就相当于是一个长短音的问题，对吧？那我们怎么去对比这个呢？所以索绪尔这里非常 genius 的在哪里？他说啊，原来这个对于这个词根，就 do 这个词根，它事实上是存在一个就是对于豆这个词根啊，它相当于是 I explained it in Chinese and then well I can also try it in English. So here Saussure has a very genius idea. So he assumes that originally we also have something like air here, and then there's a special like I put it like this. So there's another a mysterious form, a mysterious sound here. And then if you delete this air, then we only have this mysterious sound, right? And this mysterious sound, he used other, I couldn't put it like this. So this is actually the sign invented by Saussure. So according to Saussure, the do, this is give, this root do. So I put it here. So do, this is giver, comes from the root for give. So according to Saussure, this root also has a similar structure like the previous ones, but this is a kind of a special consonant, special sound, and he used this sign O with how do you say that? A small stroke, a small circle, a half circle, something like that. So he used this symbol to represent the mysterious sound. And then if you delete the air in order to get the weak stem, and then you only have this one, right? And then this mysterious symbol turns into a O for the give root. And then for other root, like this root, starmon, the mysterious, the mysterious, how to say that? There's also a mysterious, I couldn't write it. Yeah. So you understand the logic, right? So it is actually Saussure who first suggested or that for this root, do, give, and star to stand, for this root we actually have a special consonant, and this consonant was later confirmed in Hittite. So like in Hittite, if we have this root, there's a h here. In Hittite, we have a h here, like this one. So then it was confirmed that the theory of Saussure is correct. Yeah. So this is actually the logic of the theory of laryngeals, or the theory of this coefficient sonantique. Coefficient sonantique. So Saussure also called this O and R like this coefficient Saussure and so on. Yeah, right. Yeah, it is a root. Dave. Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. So before we move on, let's give a brief summary. 就是刘老师刘正老师他推荐我，就是每次讲课的时候，中间休息的时候要做一个简短的那个总结，这样便于大家那个掌握这个内容。好，let's so now I give a summary. So we first mentioned the necessity and importance of reading the original Brahmi script, because even the standard or the authoritative, the best grammar and textbooks can have mistakes. If you want to correct, or if you want to understand why, you have to check the manuscripts. And then we also discussed this word, post. It is postposition in Tocharian, but in Latin and other languages, it is preposition. Yeah, and after that, we talked about the Laryngeal theory invented by or advanced or put forward by Saussure in order to explain these words like stamo and status and dote and daughter, yeah, and so on. 有些长元音 yeah, that's right. Yeah, some long vowels. Yeah, correct. Yeah, yeah. Mr. John has explained it. Yeah, right. Yeah. Lengthened grade and validity is another. So validity is the Indian terminology. So it is actually Indian grammar. It must not have relationship with linguistics, or I mean the modern Indo-European linguistics. 就是 validity 这个概念啊，它实际上是印度语法当中的，它实际上只是表面的描述这个长短音，但具体这个 validity 到底是什么原因，到底为什么会拉长，这个语法学家实际上是没有解释的。我们可以从印欧语言学的角度可以看。然后 lengthened grade 的话是一种那个语言学的一种构词方式，就是我到时候会讲的，就是说这两个其实没有必然的关系，对，OK 好，对，就是你要区分，就是印度语法传统和语言学实际上不一样的，对，OK 好，没关系，OK 好，然后我们 move on 之前呢，我再给大家看一看，大家知道索绪尔的肯定不知道，他在1881年。我看一下这个是什么时候啊？我还特地去查了，1881年是光绪7年的时候。那个时候呢，什么慈禧太后刚刚垂帘听政，1881年的时候，然后呢，光绪7年，索绪尔出版了2本哥特语的语法书。So Saussure has published two important Gothic grammar in 1881 and 1890. Okay. So we will continue our discussion later after a short break. Oh, okay. Oh, wait a minute. ST, which ST? Which ST? You mean here? So this, which? You mean here? Starmon? This ST? This is a Greek word. If you check the dictionary, this is a Greek word. Starmon. Starmon, sorry. Okay. Yeah, this is actually the Greek word. It's a Greek word. Yeah. Is it what? Yeah, this is just a Greek word. Yeah, you don't need to know where. Yeah, okay. So 就刚才有朋友抱怨说我讲的东西太初级了，对吧？好，那我们现在来看一下高级一点的东西。OK， 我这个话我就不翻译成英语了。对 ，OK， 好，那个，我们来看一看比较高级一点的东西怎么样？好，哦，这样哈，OK，看来是我误解你的意思了，对吧？好好，OK，没事，那个你即便这样讲，我也会开始的，没有你，你现在改口已经来不及了，我已经要开始讲高级的东西了。好，so now let's move on to the problem we have mentioned last time. So okay, yeah, I will try to explain also in detail for the following part. So next time, last time we talked about this root, right? We talk about this word, and it means probably we can check the. Sorry, let's. So last time, it is our problem, right? Pantu, and I told you that yeah, correct, pa, the root pa, and in a Trishtup, it occurs in a Trishtup verse, but in this verse, there's only 10 syllables, right? And I pointed out that the problem is caused by this word pantu. And this pantu, it's not 2 syllables. It has 3 syllables, actually. It should be read like pa antu. Right, great. Pa antu. And then I raised a question. 就是我当时问了一个问题，就是说这个词的印欧语的词根是什么？ So I asked a question about the Indo-European root of this pa. And of course, there are only 3 answers, 3 possibilities, right? There could only be 3 possibilities. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there could only be 3 possibilities, right? Okay, and then someone mentioned that yeah, correct. Yeah, if we check the dictionary, if we check this dictionary, leaf. Sorry, I closed the. So if we check this dictionary, if we check leaf, we find in live. Wait a minute. So this is actually the root called peich, and this is e. I will explain it later. So this e is kind of a secondary. How to say that? The secondary element of this root. The principal part is peich, laryngeal 2, and you have this root. And you have this root also in Latin. In Latin, it's called Pascal. And Pascal is, I think it's related to the word pasture. This is Latin word. You find it, the Latin word also in pasture like that. This is the information in leaf. And then someone mentioned that actually, if we go to the famous etymological dictionary of Sanskrit by Meyerhofer, you find another information, another root. So the root in Sanskrit is pa, of course, and it means protect, to protect, to cover someone. And then if we move on, it has another root called H hard I, laryngeal 3, Why? Which one is correct? So it couldn't be, of course, there could only be one possibility, right? Either H2 or H3, right? It cannot be both, of course, this is for sure. It can either this one, or this one. So now comes a general remark. How can we specify the laryngeal? So this is a very important question. So how can we determine, how can we tell which laryngeal it is? Can we? Yeah, great. This is a very good answer. From Greek, this is a very good answer from Greek. Because in Sanskrit, laryngeals turns to like E, all the laryngeals turns to E, or sometimes lengthening and some, and in other languages it just vanishes and so on. But also probably from Hittite, right? Hittite also can tell us some information about the laryngeal. So let's take a look of the information in Meyerhofer. So Meyerhofer tells us we have in Greek, so let's analyze it. So we have in Greek, so this is the Greek, I just use, we have in Greek poma and also poimen. So we have in Greek o. So we have in Greek or, and we have in Greek here or. So we have in Greek or. So it is very likely that this root ends in laryngeal 3, right? Because in Greek, laryngeal 3. So this is also an important detail. Probably you already know that. Greek, laryngeal 2 or laryngeal 3 always connected with O. So based on the Greek information, we know probably, according to Meyerhofer, this root might be laryngeal 3, right? This is a very correct guess, right? It's very possible, very likely. And then this E, why do we have this E? Because in Greek, we also have this poimen, right? Poimen, right? Yeah. But if we check the Hittite material, let's take a look at the Hittite. If you check the Hittite material, the Hittite root for protect, Hittite root for protect, it is pach smi, right? It is pach, and then s. And this s comes from the desiderative, so you can forget it. So this s belongs to the desiderative. Desiderative is so s is desiderative. Yeah. So it is not closely. It is not directly related here. So this root has h, yeah. The double, the geminated, 就是双写的这个 h， 并不代表它一定是有两个喉音，就是赫体语当中的双写，其实并不是代表是有两个辅音。对 ，OK， 这个知道就行了。So this is there are two h here. There are two ha in Hittite, but it does not mean that we have two consonants. The writing of double consonants in Hittite is there's some rule for this. So actually in Hittite, we have this. And if we turn to another root, in Hittite, I will mention it to you. Yeah. Take a look. There's another root called drink. So for the word, for the root drink, there's no doubt it must has a H3 because we have in Greek posi. Generally, what is it more or less in Hittite generally? What is generally? What is generally? Yeah, and then in Hittite, you see if it is a H3, it will not have a S, it will not have a H here. So actually Hittite, and if you want to know some information about the laryngeals in Hittite, there's an important book. Double, you mean double H? Well, this is just writing in Hittite. It does not reflect double laryngeal. Yeah, and I can tell you. I can tell you. If you want to know about the information, there are actually a lot of books you can read. I just tell you a newly published book. Okay, so this is a textbook for Hittite. You can know it from text, right? If you check Liquidar, like if you check, yeah, you can. There are not only two, there are actually three. I can show you. There are actually three different roots which have the same form. The first one is protect, the second one is drink, and the third one is to go. There's another root called to go. And we know the meaning from the context or from the dictionaries. We also have Indian dictionaries, of course, from the ancient times. 就是词义的话，我们只要第一根据上下文，还有根据那个过去的语法学家和那个字典啊什么之类都可以知道，就是注释的语法学家等等之类的。还有从它的词形上，就是它的不同的词义会对应不同的词形。So different meaning, different roots have different stems, have different okay. wait a minute. Where have been? So this is a book you can check for Hittite, and then if we turn to the section for laryngeals, there's a very good summary of the laryngeal. So laryngeal 1 is usually est perdu, always lost, en toute position. So in all the positions, H1 is always lost. So this is the fate of H1 in Hittite. And then what is H2? So H2 est généralement préservé. So generally it is preserved et apparaît en Hittite comme H. So it appears in Hittite as a H, or H with a hook under it. So for example, the root hep written in Hittite is hap. So you see that even it is a single P, it's sometimes written like double P. There's actually a rule governing the writing, yeah, but it is not relevant here. It's not relevant today. And then you see that here. And also, you see, so there's also some assimilation with other positions, but yeah, it is, for us, it is most important here. So if you have a H2 in Hittite, it is always preserved as H, yeah, H2, yeah. And then how about H3? So in H3, le sort de H droit, or yeah, H3 en Hittite reste généralement controversé. So the fate or the result of H3 in Hittite remains generally controversy, a little bit disputed, but it is preserved at the very beginning. If it occurs at the very beginning, it is preserved, like heron, like heron in, this is the word for bird. In Greek, it's ordis. So in Greek, we know that all represents H3. And then in Hittite, it's hara, so it is a bird. But take a look. If it is between the, so it is inside, if it is inside the root, not at the beginning, inside, it is always serait perdu. So based on the information in Hittite, we know that also you find it here. The drink root has a H3, so it is passé. I make it a little bit bigger. So for the drink root, you have in Hittite passé, so it is lost. But if it is H2 in Hittite, take a look. It is H, right? So actually the evidence of Hittite speaks for H2. And then the evidence cited by Meyerhofer, let's take a look. So Meyerhofer means we have in Greek poma and poimen. We have in Greek poma and poimen. And how can we explain this? Oma, or poma and poimen. In order to answer this question, you can check the book by Hackstein, my supervisor, Hackstein. And you can see that in the footnote under this root, I read it. So you can, like a German reading class. So Trennung im Pech weiden und Pech schützen ist unnötig. 就是区分两个词根，一个是那个就是放牧的那种吃草之类的，还有一个是那个保护，是没有必要的。 this is not necessary to separate two roots. One is for the pasturing, and the second is for protect. It's not necessary because the Greek Nominalbildung mit O-Vokal könnte O-Grade haben und verlangen keine Wurzel mit H3. So the Greek nominal buildings like Poimen and Poma can actually the O grade haben. So I explain a little bit. 就是说啊，希腊语的这个词，它事实上并不一定表示它是第三类喉音，而是呢，它很有可能原来就是有一个 O O grade， 就是大家还有没有印象？就是我跟大家说过，就是举个例子，那个Derek 就是this is look yeah 就 this is a full grade, and to be specifically this is a full E grade, right? And then what is dark? Dark is also full grade, but it is full O grade. And then what is Druk? Druk is actually, this is zero grade, right? And zero grade, there's only one zero grade. So yeah, this zero grade, right? And zero grade, you put it like this. This is zero grade. So actually, the Greek word, you can, and let's check this book by Hackstein, 176. So since we have Greek, we have also Tocharian forms. So Hackstein has already written something about this root. So let's take a look at the book by Hackstein. So this is a book by Hackstein called Untersuchungen zu der sigmatischen Präsenzstammbildung des Hocharisch. So a research on the sigmatic present stem formation of Tocharian. So you get the information on page 176. So let's read. So let's do some German reading. Yeah. So first, the root po ü. Yeah. So there's a word called poma or po ü. So the Greek word called po ü. Yeah. So po ü can just come from the Proto-Indo-European. So this is a Proto-Indo-European root pe plus an u suffix. U is a suffix. U is U is a suffix. And then this is a root. So in order to get this form, you just change the A to a O, and then you get a po ü. But why? O plus laryngeal 2 becomes a long O. This is called compensatory lengthening. Compensatory lengthening. And then, how do we know that? So here is really advanced level and advanced information. So in Proto-Indo-European or in Indo-European languages, word formation have strict rules concerning the root. Okay, sorry. Concerning the root vowels. So how can we understand this sentence? Just like the PPP, right? Word formation, so PI, so Indo-European or Proto-Indo-European. Yeah. So Indo-European word formations have strict rules concerning the root vowels. So let's give an example, like PPP. So if you want to build a PPP, 你们没有睡着吧？我担心这个有点太技术或者太 technical， 你们 fall asleep. Okay, yeah. Okay, so great. Yeah, great. So if you want to get a PPP, you must use 0 grade. So this is a must. You must use 0 grade. This is a principle for building PPP. And then and PPP, what is PPP? PPP is actually a suffix, right? PPP is a suffix. So this is what I mean. If you want to use a suffix to build a word, the root vowel has some principle. 就不能够随意用任何的元音的，就是你必须得用一个yeah, right, yeah, yeah, correct, yeah. If you want to build the PPP of pech, you have to use like this, yeah. Okay. So that's what I mean. The word formation have strict rules concerning the root vowels. And then again, perfect. Let's talk about perfect. If you want to build a perfect in PIE, you have to use a specific vowel. Namely, for singular, you have to, for example, there's a root called, there's a root, I just use this root. If this is a root, C is for consonant, A is the root vowel. If we have this root, and then for perfect, if you want to build a perfect, then you have to use this. This is perfect for Indo-European languages, and this is a reduplication. 就是完成时它需要一个重叠嘛，所以这是 reduplication, and then this is a root. This all together, this is a stem. So this is actually the root, and then this is reduplication, and then this is a stem. So this is what I mean. Word formations in Indo-European languages have strict rules concerning root vowels. So for this, let's turn back to this word. So this word, and how can we know that u suffix, this u suffix can have O grade? 就是我们用 u 这个后缀的时候，我们怎么知道它可以用 O 的？可以用那个这个呢？我们是怎么知道的呢？ How can we know that? Because we have other roots like 多律in Greek, 多律, yeah. So it makes sense. This is the evidence supporting the O grade with u suffix, right? And then let's turn to the other word, the word called poma. And poma, actually we have in Greek other word oima, and oima means anger, wut, Stoßkraft, 就是强有力量的这样的，就是powerful like this. And then for this root, we have ho is man. And this ma, Greek ma comes from this one, but in 0 grade. In 0 grade, you have to put a circle on it. So this is actually another suffix in Proto-Indo-European called the man suffix. And man suffix, you have this in a lot of languages. So man suffix, you can also use an O grade. So for man suffix, O grade is also possible. 就是 man 这个 suffix 后缀，你也可以用 O grade, 没问题。Because we have in Greek like oima, and this comes from the root called ira. So in Latin, this root is, you can see that in Latin, this root turns to ira. So Latin root ira means anger, irritation, right? Like English, you have irritated, like, yeah. So what happens in Greek, what happens in Latin? S turns into a R. So in Latin, S between vowels turns into R. So this is a special name called rotacism, or in Greek, in English called rotacism, right? Okay, yeah. No, man is another suffix. It's not for PPP. For PPP, we only have two possibilities. One is a to, and the other is a no. So this is for PPP, we have two possibilities, to and no. Yeah, man is not for PPP. Yeah. And then let's turn to the other root. The root called man. This is the lengthened grade, right? This is a lengthened grade man. And for this root, we have Old Icelandic root. So for this, for another suffix, man, sorry, this is another suffix, man suffix. We have Old Icelandic. This is called gay me, yeah. And gay me, this is very important. Gay, the Old Icelandic, I just put it like this. So Old Icelandic A, this is another sound change. Old Icelandic A comes from Proto-Germanic I. And Proto-Germanic I comes from I or oi. But for this root, it cannot be I, because I take the example. I know this is a little bit too complicated, right? But you can memorize this. I don't explain it later. So you just keep it in mind. Old Icelandic A comes from Proto-Germanic I, and then comes from PIE and so on. Yeah, and in this case, it must be a O. Yeah, it cannot be, because this is a root vowel, and the root vowel, the root vowel. If you want to change the root vowel, it can only be like raw or rare or zero. So sorry. So there's no like this. There's no such thing. So it must be this one. So it must be this one. Yeah. Yeah. Old Irish. I think you write it like this. Yeah, this is Old Irish. This is Old Icelandic. Yeah. Yeah. Old Icelandic. Icelandic. You also write it like RESL. Out Icelandish. Okay, yeah. And if you want to know about the Old Icelandic phonology, there's a very important book by Wolfgang Krause, the same Krause who made the Tocharian grammar. It's called Abriss der Alt-West-Nordischen Grammatik. So this is actually Old Icelandic. And then there's a very good summary of the sound changes in Old Icelandic. And here you see Old Icelandic I comes from urge. Urge is the Urge is the German word sorry. The German word Urgermanisch. Okay, so this is actually for the explanation of the root Pech. I know, and I'm pretty sure that this is not primary school level, right? Okay, and so before we stop, I make a summary of what we have done today, as suggested by my teacher, Professor Liu. So for the second part, we talk about the. So for the second part, we talk about the root protect in Sanskrit, and we know that it is actually Laryngeal 2 based on the information in Hittite and also the information of the word formation in Indo-European languages. And for the first part, we talk about the importance of checking the original Tocharian manuscripts. Okay. Okay, the route to go, actually you can check the dictionary. Wait a minute. So for this route, there's not much information. Yeah, I can read it and translate. So the meaning is to go and to move itself, and then to draw. So the form. So if you want to know more about this route, you can check the paper by Barrow in IIJ. So if you want to know more about the route, pa to go, check the dictionary. So CF is confer, to compare. The by Barrow in Indo-Iranian journal, number 15, published in 73. Yeah, you have to check this paper. Okay. Okay, so this is everything for today, and thank you for your attention until now. And yeah, thank you so much. So I will upload the. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, I will upload the video to our beloved website, Bilibili. Okay, so see you next time. Have a good evening later. Yeah. Okay. Bye bye. Yeah. Okay. You're welcome. Yeah.